Yo, what's good everyone? Wesley Poole here back once again, and today is the 5th video in the series where we are looking at creating our very own MPC expansion. Quick recap. First video, we looked at saving drum kits and drum programs. Second video, we looked at key groups and how to create our own using Auto Sampler. Third video, I believe we looked at saving instrument presets. Fourth video, we looked at saving projects. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at sequences. And to be clear, we're going to look at sequences on a whole. So sequences, MIDI sequences, and patterns. So let's have a look. In the software here, I've got this quick beat. I'm pretty sure we probably all know what a sequence is. So in the sequence, I've got 5 different tracks, 5 different programs. So if I wanted to, I could save this sequence and then just reopen it and come back to it later. Why would I want to do that? Well, as always, you can be as basic or as complex as you want to be, right? But one thing I should say is if you save the sequence and then you just open it back like this, it's not going to have all the programs attached to it, okay? It's not going to have any programs unless if you want it to be linked to a program, you can link it to just one program. And what you'd have to do is when you save it, so you go to menu, file, save current sequence, yeah, you would also have to save whatever program you want to be linked to that sequence. So you would save that and then you'd go to the folder where you've saved them and make sure that the sequence and the program have the exact same name, yeah? Once they've got the same name, when you reopen that sequence, it will also reopen that program. So with this one, for example, where I've got 5 different programs, it won't open all 5, it would only open the one that it is named after, okay? So again, what could we use this for? So let's... So you say you got these, I've got these drums, yeah, these drums. I don't like the hi-hat bounce. Yeah, it's very basic. What I have done is created a sequence. If I can find it, this one here. Dragging this sequence. Let's pull it on there. And then we're now gonna go to it. It's called hi-hats. Yeah, and on here now, go over to track view, I've got 4 different hi-hat patterns. You can have much more than this. This is just to show you, for example. I do need to match the BPM to my track, which was, I believe, 88. And now I can listen to these. I don't think that will work. That one's nice. That could work. Yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to go back here. Which one was it? That one? This one? And now let's copy this one. So there, copy. And now we're going to go back here. We're going to go to the pad that we want. So this one, we're just going to take all of that out. We don't want those. And then we're going to paste in the new one. So that's just an example. It didn't have to be hi-hats. You could have it with a whole drum sequence here. It could be just kicks, just snares, claps. You can have a mixture of all of them. Or it doesn't even have to be drums. You might create a sequence full of chord progressions. You might have 10 different chord progressions. You've got your drums, like, oh, what progression would sound good? Then you just start going through your progressions and then just copy and paste it over. So you can do that as well, yeah? So that is with sequence, because with a sequence, you can have multiple tracks and your MIDI notes on each individual track. One program though, if you're saving it, okay? So what's the difference between that and a MIDI sequence? A MIDI sequence is generally just singular. When you drag it over, it's not going to have multiple tracks, it's going to be just one track. So if you had a MIDI pack from someone, it's normally just a MIDI sequence, you'll drag it in, it will open in a new sequence, but it will just be one track. So again as well, that can still, if you was to make your own one, your own MIDI sequence rather than just a sequence, if you have a program that you want it to be linked to, you just do the same thing as before. Just when you save it, you would have to name it after. So if you go to export, and you could do it as a MIDI track file and name it after the program, and then when you reopen that, it will open up with the program will open up with the MIDI sequence. Okay, so if we look at this one, let's put that there. That was a, but we don't want it at that BPM. So this is just a MIDI sequence, but it's not got the right program on there. That is the right program. It just left it as the program that was on there before, but it did open up with the correct program. Yeah, so that's good if you just want a singular track with a program or without a program and your MIDI notes on there. Yeah, that's what a MIDI sequence is. But what if you did that? So just imagine I've got this on here now, and I wanted to add some MIDI, like a chord progression. I want to add a chord progression, but I don't want to open it in a new sequence. Because like with the MIDI sequence, when you drag it over like this, it said, oh, well, what sequence do you want to put it under? And then I would have to go to that one copy and paste it over. What if you didn't want to do that? You just wanted to open it in the sequence that you're dealing with. Then you would use a pattern. Yeah, and so it's not a sequence, not a MIDI sequence, a pattern. Yeah, and I'll show you one. This one, if I drag this over now, you see, it just opened it up there and went straight into that sequence. Okay, but with that one, it does not have a program attached to it. So it just done that. So I'd have to put my own program in if I wanted to. Yeah, if I used this one, for example, this is a MIDI sequence, not a pattern. And then it's asking me what sequence to put it onto. So I'm just going to put on 3. Now, this one does have a program. Yeah. But you saw with the pattern, you can just add the pattern and it will just open on the next, it would open in the next available track. So if you had multiple tracks, so if we go back to this first, we got all of these, and like just say you wanted to put that over, I wanted to go over one of these tracks. It doesn't work like that. When you add it in, you can't choose where it goes. It just opens up a new track and puts it there. Okay. To save a pattern, menu, file, export as pattern, and then you would pull it wherever you want to put it. You put it in there, and then you're going to name it accordingly. Make sure you've named it correctly. Yeah. And just to show you as an example as well, if we go over to this expansion, the Vault 2, you'll see this Akai one. What they've actually done in this one is they give you both. They give you a sequence and a pattern. So if I was to like bring this one over, it's like what sequence you want to put it into. And this is the same thing, but just as a pattern. So if I put that in there, and then it just opens up and does not go into a new sequence. Yeah? So to go over that again, a sequence You can have multiple tracks on there if you wanted to. But then if you was to save it, you could only have maximum one program, and that's if you name the sequence after the program. So save the program as well and name the sequence after the program. A MIDI sequence is just singular. It wouldn't be multiple different tracks. It will be one track, and if you want to, it can have a linked program. Again, just make sure the names are correct. But a pattern is slightly different, because a pattern would not open up in its own independent sequence. It will open up in the sequence you're already in, and it will just add it all in there. Okay? If you're to save these, whichever one you're doing, whether it was a sequence, a MIDI sequence, or a pattern, if you're saving this as part of your expansion, they will all still fall under sequence. Yeah, when you go to the sequence tab here, all of them, no matter which one it is, they will all be there. Okay? So it's up to you. Think about, is that something that you would consider putting into your expansion? Would it be beneficial to you? Just think about what else you could do with that. If it's going to be beneficial, give it a go. Put it as part of your expansion. But, in the series, we're going through everything we can add into our expansion. So we're going through each of the individual things and seeing what we can do with them. But I think that is it for this one. So in the next video, we're going to start taking all the things that we've done throughout the videos. We're going to put them all together now. We're going to tidy up our folder, make sure everything is named correctly. I'm going to go over anything that I think I've missed earlier. And then we're going to put the expansion together. And hopefully I can just do it all in the next video. If not, it might be 2 videos. I don't know yet. And then we're going to put our expansion together and see what we got. But I'm going to end there and say, take care. I'll see you at the next one.